a bachelor indeed. But trust me, you don't want to get mixed up with this one. But thank you for your comments about my voice. Magic 8 Ball gigging everywhere up and down the country, and I've done gigs abroad as well. If you check us out on MySpace, it's www.myspace.com/ I love Magic 8 Ball, spelt, no numbers. You can keep in touch with where we are going to be playing. Alternately, if anyone is on Facebook and wants to add me on there, my name is Baz Francis, and I'm friends with Sasha. I should be on her wall today, so add me on there, and we'll keep in touch, and I'll let you know where and when we're playing, and where I can jump up and down in front of you and make a spectacle of myself. And yeah, thank you. And I also noticed that a couple of people have likened my last song to Squeeze as well as Queen, and that is that's another one of the bands I forgot to mention earlier. I love Squeeze.
Nice. Now, the next question comes from, I believe, two of your biggest fans, Sandra and Sylvia. Hello to you two out there. They say to you, Baz, you have an amazing voice and your music is wonderful. My top number one at home. My question is, tell us about your most embarrassing moment during your concerts and during live.
Hello, ladies. Sandra and Sylvia are lovely, by the way, and they flatter me. But thank you for tuning in, girls. I appreciate that. I got a travel safe message from Sylvia before I set off, so it's nice to be remembered. My most embarrassing moment live. Well, it was funny embarrassing. It's actually on my Facebook videos, but we went on tour 2 years ago with one of my favourite songwriters, Mr. Donny V of Enough's Enough. And I had agreed to take him back to the hotel after our first night. I got very lost. And when I got back to the venue to pick the rest of the guys up, I got greeted by a standing ovation of laughter. And it was at that point I got my unfortunate nickname, the Bazagator, or Baznav, or no, Satbaz. Bazagator's the one that really stuck, due to my poor directional skills. So the next night, the crowd was a bit slow, and I said I was going to go and pick up Donny, from the hotel before his set. So we were going to do ours, and I was going to go back and get him. And then I tried to blackmail the audience and say, if you don't give us more applause, then maybe I just won't feel like picking Donny up for the headline slot. At which point one of my friends shouted out in the audience, "Don't get lost." And just the whole place burst into laughter at me. And it was genuinely funny. And I actually found it amusing. Unfortunately, I can't do anything nowadays where people don't bring up that story. In fact, I'm just going down the shop to get some milk. Oh, don't get lost. So that's kind of embarrassing. But I think the other embarrassing things, they're just, the other things aren't so funny. They're just not nice when, I don't know, something stops working and you're kind of left stranded on stage, or you're having trouble with your voice, and it's really hard to get through a song, or these things are embarrassing on a different level. I don't think any genitalia has ever come out on stage. No, it hasn't. But I think in some of my tighter outfits, the outline of it has been more revealing than other times. And in the spotlights, it has probably not done me too much justice. in the trouser department. So again, embarrassing on another level. So let's stick to the first story for the embarrassing one, because at least that's funny.
Excellent. And actually, talking of the songs, Sylvia's got another question for you. Have you ever written a love song about happy and everlasting love?
No.
Well, that's very quickly answered that one. And we got another one that's come in, which is a pretty good one. This is from somebody called, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Jekaterina. And she wants to know, there's a lot of jokes around about blondes and pirates and Chuck Norris. But what's the best joke you've ever heard about musicians? P.S. She says, I have a feeling you don't know any. Is this true?
I do know some. Some of them are just plain mean rather than funny. But there is one joke I like, which is these people get taken to this tropical island and there's no real civilization there. It's all full of savages, and they can hear in the background, amidst all the jungle next to the volcano, the beating of drums. And dun 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 dun. So they're worried that, are they going to hurt us? I mean, they've not seen the white man before, and they've got their big spears, and we're very worried. And he said, you don't need to worry. Only worry when the drumming stops. And they said, well, what happens then? That's when the bass solo comes in. Ta-da!
And talking of bass, in fact, that leads me on to two questions, but I'm going to read one out. This is the most recent one that's come in from Tony. Tony says, love your show, Sasha. Can you ask Baz if he needs a good bass player?
Hello, Tony. Actually, at the moment, that's the one thing we are in no shortage of, in that every member of the band has at some point played bass for Magic 8 Ball, myself included. So yeah, bassists aren't in shortage, but I'll let you know if that changes. So watch out, others.
Now, talking of which, we've just had somebody called Jason Cummings come and that literally email us just now. He says, I love Baz. I met Baz at a gig in Windsor. He is lovely and has a sexy walk. I love him. Will he say hello, Jason, or no? It'd be so lovely. So, will you put him out of his misery, Baz, and say hello?
I'm very pleased that I have a sexy walk. And that's yeah. Hello, Jason. How's it going? It's nice to talk to you and to be appreciated. We met in Windsor. And because I used to live in Old Windsor, and the first Magic 8 Ball gig was in Windsor at Windsor Arts Centre.
Oh, so he got you right from the very beginning.
He did. In more ways than one.
Ooh. Now, talking of in more ways than one, I now have a question to put to you. Now, this show has a little bit of a running theme in the sense of having a linking theme of spiritual paths or choices. Now, it's funny, when you were mentioning the whole thing with the drums and the spheres and everything, that's in a way describing a spiritual path. Do you have one of your own, or do you just follow your own gut instinct around life?
Well, you could probably not find this that hard to believe, but coming from the home counties of England, I was C of E, Caucasian, middle class, whatever. And then I went to a Catholic school, which was incredibly scarring on an inquisitive mind, in that this particular institution was a den of iniquity and filled with awful human beings, both within the teaching staff and the student body. And the way in which they taught religion, not in class, but I mean in mass, had just an awful impact on me, and it played up to an already lingering sense of guilt about whatever in my young mind. And there was very little love involved in what they were teaching. That's not me having a go at the Catholic faith. It's having a go at these particular people who were representing the faith. And so I went back and forth on where I stood on it. And in the end, I became agnostic, I guess. And any spiritualism would not be something that I would have gotten from a teacher or a preacher or a book. It's very much, as you said, based on my gut instinct. I mean, I don't disbelieve in God. I just believe God to be an entity, a source of life, whatever it is that has made the universe, whether it be a gaseous substance or whatever. That to me, Mother Nature is God. And I guess my way of being, quote, religious would be just to be respectful of I guess, the environment and people around me. And I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I guess that would be my general ethos towards spirituality. And I'm respectful of all faiths. I don't like extremism in any of them. And for some people, religion is a good moral compass, which they use to their benefit, and they do a lot of great stuff in the name of their particular god, and whomever, whatever they choose to worship, that is their own decision. But also a lot of evil is done in the name of religion, again, of all faiths, and that to me is not good, obviously. And I just like to be my own compass rather than refer to a holy book or a preacher for that information. And when you bear in mind that the Catholic institution I was in contained adulterers and paedophiles, yeah, I ain't going to anyone like that for a few tips on how to be a moral, upstanding Christian or whatever. So I guess that's where I stand. I'm open to suggestion, and hopefully not the devil incarnate for being as I am.
That's really good. I love that answer. And in fact, Parker in the chat room has just said, "Good one." You know, so that's quite an apt question. Now we're going to move on to. We're coming near to the end of the show. Now you're going to play us another track, aren't you? In a moment. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing next?
Well, these songs that I'm playing this evening, both of them, are from the forthcoming Magic 8 Ball album. I'm in the studio in Worcestershire next week with my good friend / producer Dave Draper. If you're listening, Dave, which I'm sure you are not, hello. If you're not listening, I'm not even going to say it. The fact that you've told me I can swear doesn't make it fun anymore. But and this is one of the songs that will be on that album. It's called Ruski Ballet, or the Russian Ballet in English. And like I said before, if you like anything about that I've played today and whatever, then you can find Magic 8 Ball. It's spelt. There's no 8 figure in there. You can find us on MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, dogging.co.uk. That's just my personal one. And
are you sure you're not keeping something from us that we should know about? You know,
I'm a deeply spiritual person. I only meet up with those people to discuss issues of great importance to the universe. Moving on. You can find myself, Baz Francis, and Magic 8 Ball on Facebook. Hit me up, say hi. I don't bite. Well, that's not technically true, but I am on Facebook. And our MySpace account is www.myspace.com/I love Magic 8 Ball, spelt in proper English rather than, well, text speak. or with numbers. So, yes, I'm going to play a song about my experiences in St. Petersburg, Russia. And if my friend Alexander Svetskov is listening, hello, because he is one of the nicest people